Hello, World Typology welcomes you. July 6, 2020. How to choose nature and territory for your spirit and type. How to choose nature for your spirit and personality. There are lots of people who think that they are patriots, that they love their country, that they love their nature. But is it true? Do this land or that land belongs to these people? Is that their nature or type of nature geographically? Let's discuss this question. Some people like desert, sands, while others cannot live without the sea. Some people like snowy mountains, while the others like some concrete shapes of trees and bushes. How to choose nature for your personality. We study different tastes of 8 innate groups of people we discovered, and their temperaments and other qualities. Nature that is suitable for 8 innate groups of people were discovered by us with the help of typological method using detailed visual matching of facts. Facts that were used for creation of a map and its boundaries include geographical climate and relief of different places of the world, flora, and combination of these facts with theoretical qualities and phenomena like your temperament, abstract concrete, typical atypical, dominating color of soil and rocks, degree and visual shape of flora, and natural planting of greenery of the certain region, etc. So how to choose nature for yourself? Where is your land? Where is your real territory that should belong to you personally on our planet? Now we have created a map for you in order to show what kind of nature is right for you. This map can be seen on our website worldtypology.com and in web archives. But I will try just to mention and tell you some regions on the map here using my voice. All of the northern part of our planet and hemisphere, including Greenland, Canada, Alaska, and some parts of the United States, especially Oregon, part of Montana. So I mean the northwestern part of the United States and also northeastern part of the United States, like Maine, New Hampshire, belong to the Pharaoh innate group. Such temperaments of these representatives of this group can live there. First of all, the choleric temperament. They should live in Alberta province in Canada and western part of Canada. Alaska, Yukon, northwestern territories of Canada, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, they belong, and also some part of, I will include the part of the Quebec, they belong to the phlegmatic temperament of people from the innate group of Pharaoh. Greenland, Newfoundland and Labrador, and Nunavut, they belong to the sanguine group of Pharaoh. And all the countries in the northern and territories in the northern hemisphere, like Iceland, Ireland, Great Britain, Norway, northern part of Russia, which can be seen only on a map, and the Spitsbergen Island, up to Kamchatka, to the eastern part of Russia. They belong also to the Faroe innate group, predominantly for the melancholic temperament of people from this group. So that means that the nature itself has created the northern lands of our hemisphere for the Faroe innate group of people, and only this group of people should live in that regions. As for the Pilgrim innate group of people, the nature has created the lands for this group on the territory of the United States, Mexico, Central American countries, and half of Panama. Also, Cuba, Jamaica, and some islands of the Caribbean also belong to the Pilgrim innate group of people. That's their nature, and these people should live there. Melancholic temperament of the Pilgrims, they should live in the central part of the United States and the eastern part of the United States and northern part. The sanguine temperament, they should live in California and Utah and some other states like Arizona, etc. Choleric temperament, they should live in Mexico and central part of Central America, including Cuba and some Caribbean islands. Phlegmatic temperament of the Pilgrims should live in the southeastern part of the United States. I mean Texas, Florida, etc. As for the patron innate group of people, the nature has created for these people the whole territory of the South America. Choleric temperament of the patron group, they should live in the northern part of the South America. The Brazil and the largest part of Brazil, they belong to the melancholic temperament of the patron innate group. Sanguine temperament, they should live in the western part along the coast, and phlegmatic temperament should live in Argentina. That's their land and innate nature. The Toastmaster innate group, on our map marked in orange color. The whole territory of Africa, including Madagascar, including some islands that are very close to Africa, and including the part of the Arabic Peninsula, should belong to the Toastmaster innate group of people. That's their lands and territory, and that's where these people can feel themselves much more comfortable than in other countries or regions of our planet. Melancholic temperament of the Toastmaster innate group should live predominantly on the western part of Africa. Choleric temperament should live in the central part on equator. Phlegmatic temperament should live on the eastern part up to the central part. And the sanguine temperament of the Toastmaster innate group should live on the south and southern part of Africa, including Madagascar. That's their nature and where they should live. The virtue innate group, they have much more complicated map and much more complicated situation because many of these people, they do not live on their lands today. Many people live in different places, and another innate groups like ethnos or some other groups, they live on the lands that should belong to the virtue innate group, and only virtue innate group should live there in these lands. I'm telling about the European islands that are located in Portugal, mainly Azores, they belong to the virtue group. Also, the part of the Portugal, southern part of Portugal, they should belong to the virtue group, and the southern part of Spain also, together with the islands, Balearic Islands, that are close to the Spain. Central and southern part of Italy also belongs to the virtue group. That's their nature. And Greece, Albania, part of Bulgaria, and some other countries that are close to this southern part also belong to virtue innate group. Portugal and Spain, southern Portugal and southern Spain, together with Azores, they belong to the sanguine temperament of the virtue group. Southern Italy and central Italy, they belong to the choleric temperament, together with Greece, Albania, and Macedonia, part of Bulgaria, and also a part of Crimean Peninsula. And Turkey, it is melancholic temperament that should belong to the virtue group of people. And some other Central Asian countries like Cyprus, like Israel, and so on. You can see all these on our map. And all the countries that are eastern from the Central Asia, Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, part of Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Pakistan, India, part of Nepal, and some other countries up to Bangladesh, they should also belong to virtue innate group. There are different temperaments, also some choleric temperament. They should live from this group, they should live in India and Sri Lanka. And some small islands like Maldives should belong to virtue innate group of people. For the Marxists innate group of people, their innate nature is located predominantly on a large area of Europe, starting from the central and northern part of Portugal, northern and central part of Spain, France, Germany, almost all European countries, and northern part of Italy. You can see everything of these lands on our map. As for the Russia, the most of the Russian territory also belongs to the Marxist innate group of people together with European continent, including Finland and Sweden. For example, a sanguine temperament of the Marxist innate group should live in Spain and central and northern part of Portugal and some part of France. Choleric temperament of Marxists should live in Germany, northern Italy, Denmark, and Poland, and some other countries that are located in central part of Europe, like Austria, Hungary, etc. Up to the territory on the south that should belong to the virtue group, Albania, Macedonia, and part of Bulgaria. The Russian territory and Ukrainian territory, they should belong to the Marxist phlegmatic temperament. And the northern part that borders with the Faroe territory is melancholic, including Finland, Sweden, and way to the eastern Russia. Cognitive group of people. They should live in Asia because there is the nature created the lands for these people over there. Predominantly their region is China and some other lands that are close to the China, including northern and southern Korea, Japan, etc. That's their land. And the last one, the group number 8, ethnos, innate group, which consider themselves patriots in every country of the world where they live. These people have the nature of the southeastern part of Asia. So the nature has created the lands for such people like Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Papua, Australia, New Zealand, and the all islands that are near to these lands. That's the lands for the ethnos innate group of people, and that's where they should live. Our map was published in August 27, 2020, and updated in August 27, 2021. First of all, we think that nature logically created different lands with different climate and resources. For what? As I said, for different groups of people and animals. It is important that only some certain groups of people will continuously live in the future on their certain territory. That is why our nature is so different, because people are different too. Each innate group of nature should belong to corresponding innate group of people. This will help everyone to live in harmony with their nature and environment, and this will not disturb others. Again, for example, if your prospective group is ethnos and you have choleric temperament, then you should look for the nature that is called ethnos on our map. In our case, it is purple area, and it is southeastern part of Asia, including Australia, New Zealand, etc. You can also look for choleric or sanguine type of nature inside this area that is marked in corresponding letters. Sanguine temperament should look for choleric or sanguine nature type. Phlegmatic temperaments should look for melancholic or phlegmatic nature type. Every person should look for the type and climate and nature of the same innate group and temperament that he has, or compatible temperament. But despite this chaotic migration of people for economical or defensive reasons changed this order. And nobody knows when people will realize this and consciously migrate to the territories that should belong to them. So, our map boundaries are analytical and of course they are approximate. More detailed boundaries will be marked during further research and update. Note that our map and information is not published here as a recommendation or advice for you to change your current place of residence, because you can do this only at your own risk, due to the fact that this map does not show any economical, criminal, or political situation in any country on our current map. The natural beauty also may not correspond to your expectations in each country and may change due to human factor or mass production. And our map is not the map that should be used to replace the current state borders or change them, etc. We're talking about the geographical, lands, types of nature, types of soil, rocks, etc. that may correspond, and they do correspond to your innate group, your personality, and type of thinking. as well as your temperament. Thank you for listening.